Right folks, this is a good little example of Wally Dampman. What's happened here, we got a wall where the damp boys have been in and they've taken plaster off. It's not quite up to a metre, but you can see there's a bit of a bulge in the wall here, and you can see above the wall is a dark stain, which if you look is quite obvious. And if I get my little hammer out, you hear the sound completely different. This is lime plaster, and that's Wally's gypsum and tanking compounds, and it goes around the corner, the same thing, right round. I'm just going to show you what happens. Wally's tanked all this, and if we get the trusty salt meter, we'll notice that we've got very little reaction here. It's not reacting at all. And moisture builds up behind the gypsum and the tanking stuff. And it is forced out behind this gypsum. And it's got nowhere to go but to go up until it finds the break in the plaster line, and then it comes out. And of course all of this wallpaper here is stained with the decomposing gypsum from down here, and it comes out on the plaster line and then stains all of the wallpaper. So this isn't rising damp, and it's actually had a bank survey, and the idiot of a surveyor has said that this is just rampant rising damp, and he wouldn't even finance it. So as I was saying, here we go, it's all dry, and then we get to here we get starting to go right on the join, look. And if we get to the join, there you go. It's literally within an inch. That's about half an inch higher up, right on the join between the two plasters, and it's absolutely off the scale with salts. And these are the decomposition products of the gypsum. And then you get above the stain, and there's nothing. So this is a really good example of what happens when Wally Dampman comes in and sticks all his rubbish on the wall, traps moisture behind. Moisture then decomposes the plaster, and up it comes and pops out on the join between the two plasters. This one is a slightly different one. Excuses for the dog, excuse me. Right, okay. Well, you can see a stain here, but it's a very interesting stain because it's actually further up here. It starts off quite high. We've got a bit of salt in it, not much, it's a little bit salty. You can see there's a bit of a thing on a kick on it, and then it drops down. It's much lower down the wall here, and if we look just behind this door, we'll see we've got a cellar, and you can see that it's descending into the cellar. So that wall is actually slightly damp along there, where you've got in the middle of the picture there. It's just slightly damp, with damp air coming up from the cellar, so it's a bit humid. And as you can see, when you come back in here, the bit right by the door, there's not nearly as much humidity because there's a bit of air going under the door and so on, but as you get further towards the top of the cellar, so it rises up. And that isn't rising damp, it's just a bit of moisture coming through the wall from the cellar. And if we take that wallpaper off with all the paint on it, that's it, problem solved, cured, not an issue. So there you go, a couple of little observations. Wally Dampman and his gypsum, you know, and the salts blasting out over the top of the joint in the plaster. Very, very typical. Very salty down here. You can probably stick it in and get a reaction, turn it on again. Don't know whether you can or not. Yeah, it's going up a little bit. That's because this is on the side of a chimney. It's not bad, but there's salts out of a chimney sitting in the brickwork, so it will react a little bit just with the salts from the chimney. Okay, so there you go, another non-rising damp, easily cured. We just need to take that bit of plaster off and just put a bit of lime on, and then just repaint it with clay paint. Job done. There you go.